What up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. A rare Monday show. This will not go too long. No reviews tonight except for the trailers that came out yesterday. Obviously, the Super Bowl is a big game. The sports ball, is that what that was? Sports ball, like Rachel says, there was some kind of sporting event yesterday. I don't know what was going on. I didn't watch much of it myself, but yeah, there was a sports ball game going on yesterday. And of course, that's one of the big days for dropping movie trailers. And there were some that were unimpressive, some that were more than impressive, and one that was highly anticipated that I think made most guys like us, most cinephiles, most people that were waiting for this trailer, made us pretty much fully erect. Here to talk about it with me is two of my amazing hosts, starting with my hetero life mate, Jeremy. What's up, brother?
I think it's called the Taylor Swift Ball. I think is what it was called.
Was it something like that?
It was something like that because I know if at this point it's like you just hear a conspiracy theory and you're just kind of like, yeah, that probably tracks. It kind of makes sense. I know just judging by watching Frank's shit come up in my feed from Twitter, I'm like, well, it's obviously not going well for the 49ers. So I'm like, I don't know whose team was on whose. I didn't really fucking care because I could care fucking less about it, just about as much as I care about Taylor Swift. So I'm like, oh, well, that's the most like obvious and most rigged fucking game I've ever seen because they're like, oh, of course they won, of course, and all of a sudden, well, look at they kissed. Yeah. I'm like, that's the most rigged game I've ever fucking seen in my life, and I'm like, who even fucking cares at this point?
Yeah, word is she pegged Travis Kelce till 5 a.m. to celebrate. That's what that was the reason.
Well, and of course, good for them. Maybe she'll write a fucking song about it. I don't know.
I'm sure she will. After she dumps him and breaks his heart, I'm sure she'll write a song about what an asshole he was. And then, of course, here with us, as always, the Shakespeare Lone Star State, my man Tex. What's up, brother?
I'm here to save your timeline, Frank. So you know, I just so you know, in this timeline there will be no Taylor Swift. We're gonna X-nay her out of it, so she won't be in this one. So just know that ahead of time.
Well, like I said, I don't mind her as a person. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. And 1985, believe it or not, has some good songs on it. It was very well written, very 80s inspired. The rest of her shit I could do with that. Don't need her in my life.
I remember when she was a twangy little fucking country singer.
Thank God she didn't start dating Kittle. That's all I'm saying. Just stay away from Kittle.
Now, I did see a picture that, to talk about conspiracies right fast, I kind of believe this. The guy that played Napoleon Dynamite in drag looks just like Taylor Swift. Not saying it's the same person, but I'm not saying it's not.
I've seen that meme a couple of times myself.
Just saying. I mean, you never know. It is Hollywood, and they do some disgusting things over there, so you can't ever tell.
Yeah, but let's move into the trailers. Again, we're going to spend a little bit of time on a few of these. Obviously, Deadpool's going to get a lot of discussion. Jeremy's got plenty to say about Twisters. That's one of his all-time favorite movies. Obviously, A Quiet Place Day 1 is one we're going to talk about a lot. But let's get
I hope he doesn't have a cow over Twister. That would be bad.
We have cows. But let's talk. And I know a movie that neither one of you are very interested in, but it's one that I have been not interested in, but I want to like is The Fall Guy. Look, I was a big fan of the 85 TV series with Lee Majors back in the day. There is something magical about the way those characters are put together. I have not gotten that from this first trailer that came out. I didn't get it at all from the trailer that came out last night with the Super Bowl. I don't know. I want to like this movie, like I said, because I'm a fan of the IP, of the Fall Guy IP. But once you divert so much from the core of what the story is, you're not telling it's not even a remake. It's just basically a whole different story with the Fall Guy name attached to it, hoping to feed off some of that nostalgia. I don't know. Jeremy, I know you're probably way too young to remember. I was relatively young when this movie was out, like 10, 11 years old. But when the show came out, as it were, on TV. But I mean, Tex, you know who Lee Majors is. Jeremy, I know you know who Lee Majors is.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I mean, going back to the $6 Million Man from the 70s and all that stuff, I mean, you're familiar with the show.
We have the technology.
I'm sure you're familiar with the show. I mean, have you had a chance to watch the trailer, and did this trailer do anything for you at all?
I missed it last night, and I did not even know that it came out. I guess this was one of the times I went to the cooler or the table to get more refreshments and stuff in my face like the rest of us fat Americans did last night. But no, I haven't even watched this one yet. That's why. That's why I said y'all are gonna have to kind of carry me on this one. I do want to go back and watch it just to cover all my bases. But I can say I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of Lee Majors. I mean, I grew up watching $6 Million Man and all his older stuff, and obviously he's not in this. But if this is based on something that he was a part of, it's worth checking out for me.
Yeah, Jeremy, how about you? I mean, you said earlier that you didn't even notice this trailer. I mean, does at least the title card do anything for you?
Considering I watched it about, I don't know, how long have we been live?
seconds.
Just under 2 minutes. I watched it about 7 minutes and 30 seconds ago. So, no. I mean, yeah, I know who Lee Majors is. Of course, we mentioned Ron Howard, and my mind immediately went to Andy Griffith. So, I mean, it's not like I don't know. But, no, I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. And not know anything about it, and then seeing the trailer, I'm like, this just seems like over the absolute top. Yes, Ryan Reynolds being not Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Gosling just being goofy Ryan Gosling. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing? I'm kind of lost here. I'm like, Emily Blunt looks like she's being a badass. I'm like, I mean, as she does, because I'm sure we're gonna. Well, she's not in A Quiet Place 3, but I don't doubt her chops. I'm just like,
actually, technically, she is going to be in Quiet Place 3. This is the prequel for Quiet Place, but we'll talk.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure they might be mentioned, but I feel like this is probably just supposed to be an origin story. I don't know. We might see that. And we know what happens. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, this is something that I grew up watching, so I'm very picky, very choosy about how this is going to be displayed. And because in the TV show, the Jody character that Emily Blunt plays was not his ex-wife or ex-lover. She was just some girl that worked with Lee Majors' character, with the cult character. So there was also the dynamic of having his nephew there, who was kind of a bumbling moron anyway, who just wanted to learn how to be a stuntman, who was just kind of working with the Colt Seaver's character. And they're like I said, they're redoing it to where now they were lovers, or they were married at one point, and there's no nephew there to kind of be the comedy relief. It messes with the chemistry of a thing too much. You know what I mean? It's like if you take away if you make a great cake and you take away one of the ingredients out of the recipe and then rejigger the amounts and everything else, that you can bake the same cake, but it won't come out the same. It'll be too dense, or it'll flat, or it'll be whatever. It won't come out the same. And I think that's what you do with a lot of these remakes. So I'm going to give it a try in the hopes that I'm wrong, but my expectations for this movie are just not. They're not up there. They're not high. It's like, and I still watch, because they have the first 2 seasons of the Fall Guy TV show on Prime, free to watch on Prime if you guys ever want to check it out. It's a fun mid '80s goofy show to watch. I'm a couple episodes into season 2. I don't watch it like I'm trying to really binge watch it all. I just watch an episode or 2 here and there. But yeah, I'm not overly enthralled with the concept of this movie. But hopefully I'll be wrong. But again, you mess with the chemistry. Another one of the ones that I was kind of eager to see was Wicked. And I know that, Tex, you couldn't care less. You don't like the musicals. It's a Wizard of Oz prequel. But, I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about the musical, about how good this musical really is. It's about how the Wicked Witch of the East, or whichever direction she's from, becomes that. And there is something to backstory here. I mean, it's like, because one of the things I've learned to look at the Star Wars prequels as an origin story for Darth Vader. I mean, yeah, I know Darth Vader was once Anakin, but it wasn't until that we got to see Anakin. And you do, once you see the prequels, you see him in a different light. I'm wondering if that's kind of what the whole point of this movie is. If we're supposed to look at the Wicked Witch of the West or East, whatever direction, and start to feel for her a little more, maybe start to see her in a different light. I mean, Tex, is that something that you think might be the point of this movie, or are we just doing a money?
Didn't they already do this with that Wizard of Oz with Mila Kunis in it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's wait. Like as you're talking, I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen this movie already, and it wasn't a musical, so it was kind of entertaining. That's actually not. I mean, it wasn't. I think I've seen it maybe twice, but that was actually an entertaining. I forget which Wizard of Oz. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was an entertaining watch. But I don't need a musical version. If you ever want to torture me Guantanamo Bay style, duct tape me to a chair and make me listen to musicals. I'll kill myself. It'll be easy. It won't take long. So, yeah, I'll go watch that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeremy, how about you? I was watching this trailer and I thought to myself, this is something that Rachel might be interested in. I've never seen the musical Wicked. I know people that have seen it, and they said it's really good, and they've been kind of excited about the idea of it, making it to the big screen. But I mean, does this interest you at all?
No, because that shot you showed, I saw Ariana Grande's dumbass face, and I was like, nope, next. As soon as I saw it, I had to stop. I'm like, is that? Yeah, it is. Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to watch, look at, or fucking listen to her at all. If I ever see that damn skin in Fortnite, you best believe I'm targeting your ass, and I'm going to run you down.
Hang on, wait.
I've been watching so much Critical Drinker, I was almost like, believe that. I'm going to chase you down.
Which one of those is Ariana Grande? The witch or the blonde-haired one?
The blonde-haired girl.
They're both apparently she's supposed to be Glinda. So you've got the Witch of the
North
and
I've never seen a picture of her that white ever. Like she must be doing some serious skin tanning.
She's doing some serious something. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if she's doing the bleaching treatment or if she just stays in the tanning bed every other day. But she looked like a different person. I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah, I had to look it up to be sure, and it had the I assume whoever was listed for the Wicked Witch of the West, and then it had her right after. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm no longer interested. I really wasn't in the first place because this feels like a Maleficent thing, where I'm like, yeah, well, she's evil, but I don't really care. She's supposed to be evil, and an interesting villain is that you can sympathize with him. I'm like, yeah, but this is just a kind of evil to be evil, character.
Right.
Basically,
what Disney's doing with all of their villains from their old properties.
They did Cruella, like I said, they did Maleficent.
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, give your make it a little more dimensional your villains, but I know the musical is very popular, and I'm like, I don't really, and I know I've heard it's triggered everyone to sing it because I know that damn song that's called that by the same name, popular, and it's obnoxiously annoying. So. Like Tex said, I'd shoot myself in the head too if I had to listen to one of them sing that.
Well, oddly enough, out of our little group that we have here, the one guy that loves this and can't wait to see it is the one that's not here, and that would be of course, Brooding Gamer himself. He was talking about this one last night, so maybe we'll have to get him on to talk about this at some point in the future. But he might be more interested than Jeremy and I. So
I don't really know much about it. I just know it's from a different point of view. But we've had about 7 different points of view of the Wizard of Oz story, and it's like, I don't know, can we just leave it alone, please?
Yeah, it was actually 2013's Oz the Great and Powerful. He plays Oscar Diggs, who ends up being the man behind the curtain. So
I think the only thing that saved me when I looked through the cast after I got past Ariana Grande's face was that Jeff Goldblum is playing the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, now that would redeem it for me a little bit, but I'd still have to listen to that dumb bitch sing. So my hands are tied here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm interested in seeing. Look, I have a little bit of a soft spot for musicals, but the problem is for the longest time they've been hit or miss. They've either been really good at really great stories, or they've just been droll and boring, and they're trying to rely on names and faces rather than any kind of story or dialogue. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. But I mean, I'll give it a try because Oz is an interesting storytelling, narrative, place to tell a story, because it's such a weird, fantastical place anyway. I mean, going all the way back to even before the 1930 whatever version with Judy Garland and stuff. I mean, it's 39. Just, I mean, the book, 39. The books are really fantastical. It's very much like Alice in Wonderland, to where there's a lot of different ways to visualize the place, the environment, and the people in it. And so, I mean, I'm interested. Did this trailer do a lot for me? Not really. I mean, like I said, I've heard a lot of things of the musical. I have never had seen the musical myself, so I mean, I don't really know what the source material is, but it looks fairly interesting to me. It's got some talent behind it, so I'll go with it. I'm not a big Ariana Grande fan either. I think her voice is really nasally and obnoxious. I'm not a big fan of her music, but I mean, if it tells an interesting story, if it kind of walks the line between happiness and dread, because that's what I want it to do. Because I feel like Oz has always been one of those places, and even the Judy Garland version kind of plays the dread part of it. The darker parts of the movie work really well with the lighter parts. I mean, like those flying monkeys, how scary that was back in the 1930s.
The snow tastes like asbestos.
Now, flying monkeys with like gnarly teeth are kind of terrifying. Yeah. So I mean, if this does, it plays with the darkness as much as it plays with the light, and kind of has that weird imbalance and keeps you off balance as a viewer. It might be fun to watch.
One thing, if they want me to watch this, they need to have one of the little people hanging himself in the background of one of the scenes. Then I'll go watch it.
Make it real.
Then they'll get my ticket.
That'd be a hell of an Easter egg.
And I don't want CGI practical. If it's not real, I'm not going. Just saying. Somebody's gonna have to sacrifice themselves. So.
But moving on real quick, one of the trailers that I know we were all kind of looking forward to. It's actually the trailer played, but it actually came out about 3 or 4 days before the Super Bowl. Was A Quiet Place Day One. We've talked about the first 2 movies plenty of times, directed by Krasinski, as this one will be. I think it's kind of cool that we're going back to the beginning of this. We're kind of getting a picture as to how this whole situation started. Jeremy, what did you think of the trailer for A Quiet Place Day One?
Yeah, it's not always a bad idea to try and go back to the origin of something like this, especially worldwide apocalyptic events. Because I mean, we kind of, as much as I actually liked Fear the Walking Dead, I feel like we were kind of lied to. Like, yeah, we're gonna show you the beginning. I'm like,
yeah,
you didn't show me what happened. That. You showed me that it happened, and you still just kind of like, I blanked out. Boom, there's zombies. I'm like, well, that's what happened to Rick. He just woke up and there were zombies. So you didn't really show me. I mean, it was just kind of the early.
Hang on, wait.
Society.
Rick was Walking Dead. Nick was Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I just blew my own mind. I didn't even realize that.
Well, yeah, that's to really blow your mind if you didn't watch Fear. There was a guy who was definitely he used 2 revolvers. He used to be a cop, and he's a cowboy. To further confuse you even more. However, he was my favorite character in Fear, and of course, I can't get attached to any fucking character because I kill him. But spoilers, sorry. Yeah, they were like, "Hey, he used to be a cop, and he, wears the cowboy hat, and he shoots revolvers, and he used to do a competition cowboy shoots on the weekends." I'm like, "Oh, so he's Rick." Okay, but I'm just saying, and he's sitting there like gunslinging zombies from the hip with his revolvers. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, yeah, no, seeing the start of it is kind of interesting. I know we mentioned Emily Blunt. I mean, like, I don't need to see her and Krasinski in this movie. I mean, it'd be kind of funny if like we saw a quick glance of them because we're like, hey, there they are. We know how that turns out, but it's cool actually seeing it. And like I said, seeing what happened, even if it doesn't really explain it, it could just be some Cloverfield type shit where it's like, oh, here it is. They just kind of came here and started massacring people. And that's a thing where, yeah, I'd love to see how people how quick they figured out, yeah, don't make noise. Because I'm sure that's really hard to do when these aliens are just straight up attacking you and gutting you in the middle of the street. It was just a lot of chaotic and running and screaming. And I think I saw Eddie Munson like once. He was like screaming. I'm like, yeah, that's fair though. But no, this looks kind of cool. I'm interested to see how this plays out, even as a prequel. Because like I said, I don't need the 2 main characters because we know what happens to them. I just see it from a different angle, as I know we just said with Oz. But this, I'd be interested to see the other side.
I don't know, Tex. What did you think of the trailer for A Quiet Place Day One?
I liked it. I'm not the biggest fan of the Quiet Place franchise. I've seen the first 2. Now, I will say, going to the first Quiet Place, it was a it was a memorable experience in theaters because the movie is so quiet. Like it kind of takes you into a different mood when you're watching that with other people like that. But I think Jeremy nailed it exactly. This felt like the first Cloverfield, but not found footage, and I like that aspect of looking at it that way. And I mean, they've got Eddie Munson himself in it, so I mean, I'm kind of have to go for that as well. But I mean, we don't have to see how John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's characters. I mean, we saw in A Quiet Place Part 2 how they first encountered this at the store, and the noise from the toy and everything else. We've already seen their first interactions with this, so I'm hoping realistically this doesn't have really anything to do with them. I mean, if it's a passing Easter egg, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer looked entertaining. It looked like I don't know if this movie will make a lot of money, but this looks like it could be like a fun summer kind of film. I don't know when it's releasing or anything, but it looks like a good popcorn movie, and those are awesome to go to,
Yeah, I like the first movie. It's different. It's not a straight up horror. It's not. I mean, yeah, it involves aliens, but it's not really sci-fi. It builds suspense in a very different way than we usually see movies. There is something scary about silence. You don't. It's like you're in a room. It's totally dark. You may not hear anything, but you don't know what you can't hear. You don't know if there's a little thing in the corner that can actually see you in the dark room. It's just sharpening its claws, waiting for the moment to strike at your jugular. It builds tension in a very different way. So, and it uses silence in part to do that. Of course, we know now 2 movies into it, and then this will be the third, that there's aliens all over the place that came from somewhere, and they're eating people and doing whatever. So yeah, one of the cool things about a situation like this, like aliens taking over the world or whatever, you're not just seeing it from one point of view. So yeah, I mean, whatever does it say what town they're in or what area they're in? Anyway, they're somewhere in America.
Aren't they in Boston or something?
I don't know, but I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, but let's say they're in Boston. There might be a group of people in LA that are dealing with it a different way. There might be a group of people in Houston who are dealing it one way. There might be a group of people in Chicago that are dealing with it a different way. I mean, these environments can kind of affect the way that these stories play out, and the people involved being very different can affect how these stories play out. So rather than just
other series, I know.
Yeah, right. Just us watching John Krasinski, his wife, and their kids deal with a situation. You can't really get 3 whole movies out of that. I mean, the second movie was a different movie largely because John Krasinski's absent through the movie. So, I mean, yeah, it's good to get out into this world and see how is this affecting different people in different places. And of course, making a prequel, you get a bit of an idea as to how it starts. So maybe you can reframe what you think of the first 2 movies based on that. Maybe that'll help you look at a different perspective. But I mean, I'm interested in seeing it.
This could be like a 10 Cloverfield Lane, like you said. It's a different perspective from someone else's part of the within that world. So, and I feel like that movie got
don't tease.
I thought it was.
Don't tease J.J. Abrams about making this a Cloverfield movie because he can turn anything into a freaking Cloverfield. It can be completely unrelated, completely different genre, but somehow it'll have one thing in it, and now it's in the Cloverfield universe. So don't tease him with a good time.
I don't know, man. You locked in a basement all that time. You don't know. You go up top and realize there's fucking aliens. You're like,
I keep hearing
I should have stayed.
I keep hearing that him and maybe Matt Reeves is actually working on a straight up sequel to Cloverfield. So fingers crossed, because that's kind of what I want. I want a straight up sequel.
Only if it's done in the style of the first one. Because I'm not really a fan of any of the others. I don't care about 10 Cloverfield Lane and that one that they did on Netflix in space. Yeah. That was not a Cloverfield movie. That was a space movie that they slapped Cloverfield on. I'm sorry. Whatever.
That's didn't they do that at the end of the first movie? Like you hear at the end of the credits, you hear like a garbled transmission of someone saying like it's still alive.
Well,
and I was like
that, and you see a satellite falling out of the sky or something, way off in the background or something.
Oh yeah, like in the very beginning, like you see the couple and like they look over in the ocean. You actually see it like fall into the ocean. They look back. Yeah. You don't know it yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. The last news on that says in January of 2021, it was announced that Joe Barton was selected to write the script for a new Cloverfield film, and it would be a direct sequel to the 2008 films. It would be produced by Abrams. He is also
Bad Robot or whatever.
Yeah, this guy Joe Barton, he's a British screenwriter, best known for a crime series in the UK and for the science fiction thriller The Lazarus Project, which I heard wasn't great. I never saw it. I heard it wasn't all that great.
I saw that.
Whatever.
That had Olivia Wilde in it. She plays a doctor that they basically bring back to life. That did not last long in theaters. Like that was out like within a couple of weeks. It's not a great movie. It's a schlocky horror film at best. So
yeah, it's well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm optimistic about A Quiet Place day one. I think it's gonna be an interesting movie. But let's move on real quick. One that I'm interested in seeing, and I know Jeremy, we were just talking before we went live. This might just be a John Wick knockoff, but I'm a big Dev Patel fan. I've loved him since all the way back into like the Newsroom days on HBO. Jordan Peele, he's had a couple of stumbles here and there, but I do really like him as a director and a producer. Monkey Man looks kind of interesting. Jeremy, I know that you had some reservations about the film because we have seen a lot of John Wick-like films since that first John Wick movie kind of ran through theaters like gangbusters. I mean, are you interested in the idea of Dev Patel doing his own little Indian John Wick thing?
Got to get it in.
Whatever. Like I said, we have John Wick, and then you have what the fuck is he? Is it the guy, the lawyer?
Nobody.
Yeah, is it the dude who's the lawyer from Breaking Bad or something? You've got that, then you've got like Sisu, which was basically John Wick in World War II. And you see what I'm saying here is I'm like, it's John Wick, but this. It's John Wick, but this. So I'm like, okay, we're just doing the same. Like, sure, you can have an aged dude or whoever the hell just stylized over the top gun fu kicking everyone's ass into oblivion. I'm like, okay, it's fun. Those are just popcorn movies. You just shut your brain off and enjoy the ride. So sure, I didn't even know about that one. Yeah, I'm kind of with was it his name Derek over there. I'm like, what? Monkey who? Like, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. If you look real hard, I mean that little it's probably not a great picture, but the one you had up, I'm like, he looks like Markiplier for some reason. Just that little grainy. That looks like Markiplier. It's the hair, the way his face is shaped.
I don't know who that is.
It's weird. He's
a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never really watched him either. I know who he is.
Well, shit.
I've heard the name, but I couldn't put a face to it.
One of Markiplier's movies coming out. He's making one too. He's supposed to be in Five Nights at Freddy's, but he was working on his own movie. So hopefully that's
Tweeter and the Monkey Man. Now that's a movie I'd go see. Do it in the style of like either like in the 90s, cop thriller kind of thing, or like a 70s trucker style where Tweeter's the trucker and Monkey Man is his, monkey pilot rides with him. I think I like the trucker idea better. I think I'd go with that one.
I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I like Dev Patel, and I'm interested to see him do like an actiony thing. As far as this movie is concerned, it's going to be mindless action, and that's fine.
That's
fine.
Fine.
If I know it going in and all it is ass kicking, that's fine. But I do hope that between Dev Patel and Jordan Peele, they give the story a little bit more substance and they aren't so one dimensional. But if they are, then so be it. I mean, if I see the reviews and people are like, this is a really good action movie, but not much else, I'll be like, okay, I'll go see it just so Dev Patel can do what John Wick does, using all kinds of cool things at his disposal to end other people's lives, the lives of the bad guys. So if that's what this movie is going to be, an hour and a half or 2 hours of me watching him kick ass, I'm okay with that.
They killed this guy's cat, and now he's going to kill all of them. I don't know.
No, he's Indian, so they have to kill his cow or some shit like that. But
yeah, take it up a notch. Take it to that holy level, animal. There you go.
Don't kill my bovine.
He had a hamburger right in front of him, and he wasn't having that shit.
And, speaking of animals, one franchise that just keeps prodding along, and I got to admit, I stopped watching after the second film. I just not because I didn't like it, just because there's a million of them. Is we got another trailer for Planet of the Apes. I've been thinking about it for the last 24 hours or so since this trailer dropped. What is it about this franchise that enables every part of it to go on for 10 or 15 films?
I wish you could tell me.
Because I remember watching the ones from the 70s and stuff like that with my dad.
Charlton
And
Heston.
they kick the Chuck Heston films, and they kick back up with Franco and all that, and they've kind of it seems like every movie since then has had kind of a revolving door. So like one big star's name to carry it after another. It's always different for every other movie. But I mean, I have to catch up on these to see if they're any good. But I mean, it looks the same as the last several movies, but they've been financially successful. They've been critically, they've done okay. I don't think anything's blown anybody away. But I mean, I don't know. I'll go to you first, Tex. I mean, you're as familiar with the Planet of the Apes franchise as anybody who's.
I love it. I've seen all of them.
Yeah, what do you think of the trailer? Did it do anything for you?
I dig it. This one, I was looking into it after I saw the trailer last night. This is linked to the Matt Reeves trilogy that was the James Franco, the last three that we got, which was the more real world approach to how if the apes were to take over the planet, here's how it might go kind of realistically. Of course, they, I don't know how scientifically correct it is. I'll just probably not. But no, visually, I thought it looked good. The CGI was good. That's one thing when you go back and watch those old ones, it looks really, really good. I mean, it's been a few years since I watched them, but I really liked that Matt Reeves trilogy. You had Gary Oldman playing the villain in the second movie. Woody Harrelson was the villain in third one, War for the Planet of the Apes. Those were solid films. Now, this one, from what I've read, it takes place 300 years after that movie. So basically, everybody from that film has been dead, long gone. Humans are now what they were in the original film, except for that one girl, Neo or Noah. I think N-O-A, I think is her name or something from what I looked at. I can't remember. But why these films have staying power so much, I think is because it's literally holding up a mirror to society, to what we are, but just swap out monkeys for us. So it's kind of fun to tell human stories through the lens of the monkeys, I think. I mean, that's a just entry level argument or whatever. But I like all that Planet of the Apes. Well, except for that Tim Burton one with Mark Wahlberg. That thing needs to be forgotten about, burned.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, that was. Well, yeah, that one. Now, there's only one scene in that movie that's redeeming, is seeing Charlton Heston playing one of the apes in that movie. That was cool to see. Yeah. But besides that, you need to forget about it. But no, I'm into this movie. Like I said, I hope we get a new trilogy, based on these apes. And, I like creature features. I like the Godzillas, the King Kongs, Planet of the Apes. I dig that. So I'll be going to check it out.
This will be the 10th film based on the Planet of the Apes story.
Oh, is that it?
Well, so far I've seen all 9. So
the first one came out in 1968. 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 films in that series between 1968 and 1973. Then the remake came out, the one with Tim Burton in 2001, that was not very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this movie coming out will be the 4th one. And there was also a television series in Planet of the Apes that ran for a season in 1974. And there was an animated series that ran in the mid-late 70s as a cartoon. And not to mention 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 video games. So who knew? But yeah, I don't know. Jeremy, what do you think about this trailer? Again, this is one of those franchises that it may not be as big or successful as Star Wars as the MCU, but if you've ever seen a movie, you've at least heard of this franchise. I know you and I remember very clearly in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back the reference with Jason Mewes. Yeah. But
Nick did.
Yeah, you saw the trailer. I mean, what is this? Does this trailer do anything for your expectations for the film?
Nope. Monkeys do stuff. Monkeys hate humans. They hunt humans.
Oh, that's great. That review should be on the back of the DVD whenever it comes out. If that's not on there, I'm going to be upset.
You can quote me. I'll take the dividends.
Monkeys do stuff. Quote, Grim Tuesday 23 or whatever.
Cisco and Ebert. You can put my fucking review right there across the back. Or Roger Ebert, yeah. I haven't really seen anything since the old movies with like Charlton Heston, and I'm just like, I don't really care to. I don't know. The thing with Mark Wahlberg, it's not Mark Wahlberg's fault. Let me just preface that. But I'm like, I don't know what in the actual hell that was supposed to be. So
I don't think he did either. I think that's the problem.
I think that face he made at the end of the movie was fucking genuine. He was just like, what the hell? Like, that may have just been inaccurate. They may have just shown him that, and they just said, roll it.
He was like, do I really have to be in this movie? I'm never going to recover from this. Like one of those kind of things.
You also did The Happening, and that wasn't a good idea either, but it's all right.
Yeah, the premise does confirm what you said, Tex. Nearly 300 years after the events of War for Planet of the Apes.
Okay, I thought so. I couldn't remember. I know it was a long ways away, so everybody's been dead for a long time. So
it's like, yeah, this seems like it has been more lived in. There are still humans, but it's obviously like a role reversed. You know, the apes obviously run the planet, and they're, you know, obviously the humans are kind of like the feral beings and are being hunted by these apes. And
when you can go through each, it's kind of interesting to look at the Planet of the Apes franchise to the year that they come out or the time period that they come out in, because each one of them has a kind of an interesting social commentary, whether it's Planet of the Apes, the original, Beyond Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, going all the way through. All of them have a real, you know, social commentary message to them. Some are better than others. I mean, that's with any franchise when you're 9 films deep. But I like creature features like this, you know, and it's, you know, it's like half apocalyptic, half creature feature. So it's kind of in my wheelhouse.
It's a fun kind of apocalyptic type movie. So you know, seeing it, you know, happen in this manner. You need to work on those damn titles though, because they're a fucking mouthful. You'd be like, Rise of the Fall, Fast and the Furious of the Planet of the Apes. I'm like, fucking like what one now? And like Frank said, we got 10 movies, so just the same as Fast and the Furious. And I'm like, God damn, you got to work on them titles, because trying to shove like of the something of the Planet of the Apes in there with whatever title it is, I'm like, Jesus, maybe shorten it or something, or find something catchier. I don't know.
Abbreviate, shorthand.
Just like, you know, it's a Planet of the Apes movie, so I don't know. Maybe find a way to shorten it.
It could be like Fast and Furious. Just call it Ape X.
Yeah, Ape 5. Yeah.
The
Furious of the Apes. I don't know. Something terrible.
Well,
but
probably better than that. What was it? Birds of Prey and the something fucking Harley Quinn.
Oh, Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. Yeah. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Right.
The title was so long it didn't even fit on the key card above the doors at theaters. It was ridiculous.
It just said the emancipation of ... Like, we give up.
I need to know for the lore. I mean, I guess why they just called it Birds of Prey. I mean, that's, just go with that. We know what it is.
But we've got a couple of trailers we got to talk about before we get out of here and let you guys get over and watch Alex the Garbage Man. This one, Jeremy, I know that we've talked about this. We discussed this movie coming out. We finally got the first full-length trailer for Twisters, the not sequel, not reboot. I don't know what the hell it actually is.
Not whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Jeremy, I mean, look, as the film, it's just the film by itself. This looks interesting, but it's different when you have a legacy picture that you're trying to follow up on, especially Twister, which is one of the great films of the 90s. So, I mean, Jeremy, you tell me, did this trailer get you at all excited to see Twisters?
First of all, I want somebody to clip that Frank said there was a good movie in the 90s, because I'm going to make a compilation of him hearing his dirty whore mouth admit that there are some good fucking bangers in the 90s, all right? Like, okay, I know we were talking about this earlier today in the group, and Brooding Gamer was talking about it, and I think he summed it up, and I think what we said before is, yeah, I want to like this, so I hope it's good. Like, I think that's just been the overall theme.
Right.
I think Gamer said, like, I want to like this movie. I really do. It's hard. I mean, I don't know. Even when you don't know, speaking of Jay and Silent Bob, like when we watched, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, they get old, whatever the hell. And they're trying to discuss, like, is it a sequel? Is it a requel? Is it a reboot? I don't know. Like, when a movie doesn't even know what it's trying to be either, I'm more confused because I'm like, well, should I detach that from my brain when I watch this, or should I try to? I'll try to separate it, but it's gonna be very, very difficult to do that. Especially when, I said it somewhere in the comments up there, like, you know how I feel about 30, 40-year sequels, or again, whatever this movie is. You added an S on the end, so you're assuming you're tying it to it. Yeah, a lot of insane.
They could have called it tornadoes instead, just to be a little bit different.
A lot of insane weather shit happened. I'm like, okay, so what? So what happened? I did get a nostalgic feel of like just seeing the first couple seconds, like the way it was shot, the way that big sweeping overhead, and like the way the car was shot and the weather and shit. I'm like, this feels like the old movie. So if it's got kind of the same cinematography, it might have the same feel. But then when you're like, hey, look, there's that other kind of douchey, like other storm chaser guy. I'm like, that's definitely not Carrie Ewell's character, because he definitely went kablooey in the last movie. Like, of course. So is this going to be different or not? And I'm calling it now. I already know what the damn story is going to be. Since this is apparently, right, the daughter of Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt's character, right?
I don't know.
I thought that was supposed to be the case.
Like, I don't know that for sure. I've heard rumors, but I can't confirm any of them. I don't know.
Because your biggest glaring, obvious F5 tornado in the room is that you no longer have two of your biggest legacy characters in this film being Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman. And I'm like, I swear to you, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be, oh, look, my dad died off screen to a tornado, and that's going to be how you explain Bill Paxton. I'm fucking telling you right now, it's going to be the same story as Helen Hunt.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton, by the way, gone too soon.
Right. Of course. So, I don't know. If you can, I don't know. You can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. I've said this so many times. You believe that group of people are like really good friends. They all have amazing chemistry on screen. You really believe these people are like really good close friends. They do this shit like, and they have fun doing it. And you can drop in on Aunt Meg whenever you want, get some fucking banging steak and eggs and her mashed potatoes and gravy, which is practically a food group. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's one of those movies, the old one, where we talk about Jurassic Park, where I'm like, yeah, no, the effects still look pretty decent, even for, what was it, 1996? It's still, it's
94?
Well, was it 4 or 6? I thought it was 96.
Oh, that's one of those two. I don't know.
I think mid-90s.
96. 96 is when Twister came out.
Oh, you're right. Okay. You're right.
That's
you're right.
That's my one weird quirk. I know what year a movie came out. You just asked me. I'll get it pretty close.
For what it's worth, the girl Daisy Edgar Jones, her name is Kate Cooper, and Glenn Powell's character's name is Tyler Owens. So it's not likely that they are the daughter. Either one of them are the daughter of the two from the original film.
I think maybe that was the original idea they had.
That was the original idea. Yeah. The film, blah, blah, blah. I was just reading it. Where the hell did it go? And Travis Knight. Let's see. There was hope that Hunt would reprise her role, and it was reported that it would focus on the daughter of her and Bill Paxton's character. But apparently that has been. I
was hoping for a Helen Hunt.
Well,
I did see a red Dodge truck in that fucking. You can't lie to me.
Well, there's a red one and there's a white one. So
I saw the red Dodge truck. Damn it!
Yeah,
I saw the truck.
Obviously, Ram is the corporate sponsor for this film because they have two gorgeous looking trucks prominently in these open gigantic fields. Like it looked like a truck commercial. You could have put the all new Dodge Ram 2024 over that, and it could have been a truck commercial. It was awesome looking. But I don't know. I liked it. I thought it looked good. I mean, it's like I said in the when we were chatting about this earlier today. I'm going into this with zero expectations. I love the original Twister. I mean, I told y'all before, I was a kid sitting in the theater watching Twister with my old man while tornado sirens were going off outside. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Tornado Alley, son, that shit was kind of scary to me. Right. Like, oh my God, this is real.
I'm right in the middle of it. I get them here every year. So, I want this to be good. I don't need any tiebacks to characters. Obviously, we're going to get that because they've got the machines from the last film, so they had to get Dorothy from somebody.
We saw Dorothy, so yeah,
right. They've obviously got Dorothy, so somewhere there's a tie. Glenn, I'm a fan of Glenn Powell. I like him. He had good energy. He had a good vibe in this trailer. My theory, but because I didn't look up any of the name, I thought he was going to be the son of Carrie Elwes character from the first Twister. That's what I thought it was.
He's arrogant enough that he may be, but I don't think that that's what this movie's going to do. I don't think we're going to see kids of people.
Oh, I don't think it is either. It was just the way that he carried himself in that trailer. He felt like Carrie Elwes in that first movie. Very big, very showman-y.
He's
he had that same energy. Yeah. Right. And which would be kind of cool. I mean, because it's like I said earlier today, I'm going into this just like I did Top Gun Maverick. No expectations, and I love Top Gun Maverick. I thought that was an awesome film that's as good as the original was. I would love for this to be the equivalent of what Top Gun Maverick was. So
as much as I know we want to see the Dodge Ram trucks, and I thought I saw a quick flash of something yellow. I was like, what? Was that the Jeep? And it wasn't the Jeep. I was like, damn it.
I didn't see anything yellow. I have to go back and look.
I think they were towing something behind them. I thought it was the car itself. It was real quick. They panned up real fast to a tornado. I didn't see like any Jeeps in there. The thing is, I'm like, that was the cool thing. It was like all those different vehicles. Like obviously Dusty had the barn burner. Preacher had like that real long like Oldsmobile, like Cadillac, whatever the fuck, So they all had their kind of unique caravan of cars, for this tornado chasing.
The cars almost match the personality of the people within the group. That's what made it so special. Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, now if it literally is in a barn and they pull something off and it's the barn burner that Dusty had, I'm like, okay, fine, that's cool. Like, dust it off and not dust it off. Take it into the suck, take it into the suck zone. Damn it.
Yeah, look, the way I'm going to watch this movie, and since we're not doing the kids of Bill Paxton and the character and all that's
fine.
We're not, I'm fine with that. I think that's the best thing to do for this movie. I think what you got to do is just make this a bit of an homage. Give me some scenes. Don't make it a shot-for-shot remake. Make some scenes that are reminiscent, or little bits of dialogue that are kind of plays on something from the original film from '96, but don't connect it to the original at all. Let it be its own story. That's the best way to handle this.
I mean, they connected that way. That first shot when they're running along that fence, I'm like, that's the movie poster, like with her and Paxton just running across.
Well, like I said, some visuals and stuff like that are great, but for the most part, I'm like, don't make this a sequel. Don't do anything. Let this be its own movie, because it's one thing to revisit kind of that. Not that universe or that world, but to kind of revisit the basic storyline to give it a twist, the name like Twisters. You're obviously playing on a bit of the nostalgia, but still let this movie be its own thing, because no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna rate compared to the original. I mean, this movie could win all the awards, not most of the awards, not some of the awards. It could win all the awards, and I really don't think anybody's gonna look at it and ever say that it's as good as the 1996 film. So don't try to measure yourself to that bar. Try to set your own bar. If you do that and just try to make a good movie, you've got some talent in it. Glenn Powell is an actor that is very much on the come up. I mean, that guy for the next 15 or 20 years is going to be one of the guys in Hollywood. He's going to do a lot of big shit. They already said they'll probably bring him back for another Top Gun movie if they do another one. There's all kinds of other stuff that his name is attached to. Just let this movie be its own thing. Let it be an homage to the original. Don't try to connect it. Don't try to do too much. Let it be its own thing, but still kind of bits of nostalgia. Don't try to like over.
They got to homage the drive-in scene though. They got to do something with a drive-in. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie. They got to do something with that. If they do that,
I would say maybe the way you do this is, remember they said, they were successful in the end of the movie, getting that data up into the tornado. And of course they go like, yeah, we're going to be rich. And then of course they're like, oh crap, we got all this data to sort through. Like, and they had that little quip, like, you're going to run the lab. I'm doing the data. And they're like, no, I'm doing this. Maybe they did get that money. They finally got this lab. They'd be able to go out and still, chase these tornadoes. Maybe they could be working for that lab that like Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton worked. Don't show them, but you can say like, oh, this is where they work now. It's actually become a big thing because of what they did in the 90s. Maybe they work for them or something under this company, and maybe she is running the lab. I don't know. Maybe because he's gone. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, there's no. Also, one thing I'd like to see. Look, Lois Smith is still out there acting. Let her have a cameo as Aunt Meg.
I'm like, Aunt Meg is still there. I know it. Come on.
Yeah, look.
They got to show her house with all the trinkets and stuff. I love that house.
Yeah. Or even just like a picture. Just have a picture like on the new.
She rebuilt the house.
Yeah, like or just have her picture on a desk somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And look, and it wouldn't be hard. Yeah. Look, Lois Smith is still acting. We talked about it a year ago. She just won a Tony at the age of 112 or whatever she is.
Right. I
mean,
right.
Give her a couple of bucks.
She's still out there slaughtering her own cows.
Yeah, let her have one scene of like some poignant dialogue. Be like, I remember these other storm chasers I used to be close with. You don't have to mention Bill Paxton's character by name. Just a one little member berry will be nice as long as it's written just right. You know what I mean? But just to see her face, even on a picture or something would be wonderful. So hopefully they'll do that.
They have to end it with like an in memoriam to Bill Paxton, though. Like have his name at the end of this movie somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that somewhere in this movie there's going to be
dedicated to him. I'm sure
there's going to.
To do something for Bill Paxton. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that in this movie there's going to be something like somebody will be watching like aliens in the background. It'll be that scene where he's like, "Game over, man! Game over, man!" It'll be something like and that would be just fine by me. That would be wonderful. Or they're watching.
Hey, remember the barn burner? Dusty had all those TVs in there. He'd be like watching some shit while he's chasing tornadoes. You just flip on Alien.
Oh, yeah. If you want to go CD route, have the character that Bill Paxton played in Broken Lizards Club Dread, the Jimmy Buffett knockoff, have one of his CDs in the van or something somewhere. That could be cool as well.
Pina Colada Bird.
Yeah. That's the Easter egg that I want. That's the one that I want right there. Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I would do that.
Or have somebody chuck the Jack Daniels bottle into the damn tornado. I don't care. I just
but have a drink. One more trailer, and we saved it for last because this is the one that we've all been waiting for. We finally got Deadpool 3, or as it's going to be known officially as Deadpool and Wolverine. Jeremy, we've been waiting for this trailer, a movie that has been. It got put on pause because of the multiple strikes going on in Hollywood at the time, but now they finally got that settled. They were back to filming. We finally got the first trailer. This movie is coming out in July. We're about 5 months away. I'm excited as shit. Jeremy, what do you think of the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine?
I'm excited as shit. July is gonna be stacked because I think that's when that Twisters movie comes out as well. So July is gonna be a good month. Yeah. Okay. I think I paused about 2 seconds and I'm like, hold the fuck. What? Why and how are you all alive? I know this is Deadpool, but what the fuck? No. You got to explain to me how the fuck you're all still alive now for some reason and why he looks like
time travel, man.
57. Well, yeah, I was like, someone's like, oh yeah, remember at the end of the second movie he time traveled? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he did.
Yeah.
But whatever. See, again, comic book shit. It doesn't matter. Hey, he killed Ryan Reynolds canonically in that, so whatever. So we never got Green Lantern. So good for Deadpool.
You're welcome, Canada.
Yeah, right. You're welcome. Yeah. So, and then I think I had to pause about another 10 seconds. And I'm like, whoa. The fucking TVA is here now? Stop. Hold on.
A beefed up TVA.
Yeah, I'm like, you're breaking my mind. I'm like, no, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Now you've got the TVA coming in here. I didn't understand the pegging joke and why he had to look me in the eye like that, but okay. Whatever. I don't know.
It's almost like he was proposing it to you watching the trailer.
I guess. I was like, I don't know what he was trying to. I was like, he's like, but it's not for Disney. I'm like, what? Is there some joke I don't understand? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Then the TV, this version, I guess, of the TVA just yoinks him in there. And I don't know if those were the actual Avengers, because I don't know if that was like actually Chris Evans, Captain America I saw on the TV there, that he was being shown.
All that footage looked like it was from other Marvel films. Yeah, one had Thor, one had
the one on the left. I forget what it had.
Yeah,
over on the right, or let's see. On the top right was Captain America saluting. The middle one was that snow scene from Age of Ultron with all the Avengers.
Could be. It
and
could
then the
be.
others were.
It doesn't say that for sure.
True.
Well, I'm just going off of the visual that we were given, of course. But
I get why you'd say that, but it could be. It doesn't. We don't know for sure. Let's face
right.
it.
Yeah. We don't know
snowy
either.
forest in the world.
Because I'm like, this is
right.
This is the way you. I'm like, okay, if we're doing this, this is how you do it. This is how you get this in here. And again, this is the character you do it with. This is your meta, fourth wall, self-aware, character. Now, I swear to Christ, if you do some Eddie Brock shit again, where you're like, here you go. Nah, you're just kidding. Give him back. Don't you fucking dare do that. At least play with it more than 5 minutes of fucking screen time. Give us the whole movie. If you put him back, whatever. But if we're going to integrate it, at least maybe for the sake of the X-Men or something, or Deadpool, that's cool. Because I don't know I don't know what this has to do with the actual Marvel movies, if this is going to be a part of it, or again it's probably just a big fucking joke because it's Deadpool. The only other thing I noticed was also when we've seen this shot probably before, the big 20th Century Fox logo is just in the sand, wherever the hell. Someone's like, is this that Fox's version of that place where the people get pruned? Because I'm like, that's funny if they killed that version of 20th Century Fox, and now it's here, and now Deadpool's here. Which would also explain why Wolverine's here, because he's got the yellow suit. So I'm like, this could be a third Logan. Because you have the X-Men Logan, then you have Old Man Logan. This could be a different variant, comic book Logan that we have.
Don't forget about the one in the white suit, Patch.
Yeah, the way that we see the back of. So
yeah. That's not, I guarantee you, that's not Hugh Jackman. That is not, Hugh Jackman's twice that guy's size. That is somebody else.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, I'm glad Frank picked that picture for it.
I don't think Hugh Jackman. Yeah, I don't think Hugh Jackman got that ripped for this movie. I mean, we've only really seen pictures of him in the yellow suit. I mean, dude, because he's already in good shape. I mean,
but he's also 6'7" or something. He's a big dude.
60. Yeah, how old he is. He's in great shape. Yeah, but he's always been in good shape. Remember, even in the first X-Men movie, he wasn't super ripped. He was in good shape.
No, he
wasn't just he wasn't he didn't get super big until the last 2 or 3 movies where he got really cut. But I don't know, Tex, what do you think? I mean, we've been waiting for this trailer for a long time now. We finally got it. Are you more excited to see this movie now?
Well, my initial reaction was, what? That's all the Wolverine we're going to get? That was my first reaction. I'm like, what the crap? But I'm like, okay, it's the first trailer. There will be 5 more. We'll get Wolverine. And considering that they've already shown behind the scenes pictures, it's not like they weren't going to show us anything else. No, I thought it was cool. Now, it did say every character deserves a good ending. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds is going to continue with the Deadpool thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe it depends on the financials. I don't know. But I like the trailer. I mean, it's like y'all said, we've waited on this thing for a long time, and it did not disappoint. Now, the one shot that interests me the most, well, one of the things is where he's talking about this cinematic universe will never be the same again. And we know we have Secret Wars coming up, which is a reboot for Marvel in the comic books. And that shot where Deadpool is laying on the ground, where you get the Wolverine shadow, the Secret Wars comic is laying over there, and on that cover is Doctor Doom. And if you go look, and one of the action shots where that kind of round thing is out in the air, the guy that's standing to the left of him, that's a Doctor Doom looking mask. I'm not saying that's Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I had to go back.
But it looks like a Doctor Doom.
And not Doctor Doom. I've seen a screen grab.
Oh no, it's not him.
Not Mephisto either.
I'm saying maybe it's like a minion or something, like one of his people or something. Now, one thing I did love, they brought back Pyro from the old X-Men movies. Yep. He's the guy sitting there with the goggles around his neck. I was like, okay, that's cool. That was that, and getting the background shot of because obviously the villain of this film is Professor X's twin sister. It's so that bald person that you see is not, well, it's probably not Professor X. They could, play with it if they want to, but the villain is his evil sisters. So I like what they're doing with this. I think Marvel needs this because they have basically destroyed their MCU. This could be the thing that saves it. So they better play it right.
I was gonna say that too, but I'm like, I know I've wanted to believe that about the last 5 fucking Marvel movies, but I'm like, no, this is the one. If you want to do it, you can be meta, you can be self-aware.
Right.
This would be fun. I mean, even if it is just fun, I'm like, I don't know if it's supposed to get anything back on track, but like, because this doesn't look like exactly the same TVA, but like it could just exist. I don't know.
I'm not saying get it back on track, but this could be like that wipe that kind of clears the board. Yeah. To reset going forward. So if you wanted to bring back a new Captain America, a new Iron Man, a new Thor, Hulk, whatever, now is your opportunity to do it. Because obviously with all the Kang stuff that we've dealt with, it's all been a headache. Now is when you can reset it, and I hope they do that in this movie.
Well, if he is, in fact, Marvel Jesus, like you said, he can die for all the sins of the MCU.
Hey, why do you think I've got the name? I mean, I am Harsh Truth Jesus. Yep. You know, that's my nickname for this episode. So it's all good.
This looks like it'll be fun. I can't get over that fucking shot. Like, of course, you know that big figure comes over him. You see the hair curled up. I'm like, it's him. He's like, come on, you big ape. I'm just stand there, help me out, and just he's like, okay, actually, I'm fine. Don't pick me up. It just cuts out right there.
I hope the rumor's true that we're going to get multiple versions of Wolverine in this movie because they've already showed us Hugh Jackman in the yellow, and we know we're getting Patches, the guy in the white tux where he wears the eye patch, which is a deep cut for the comic for a 90s comic book fan. I hope we get like multiple versions of Wolverine, and I've also heard rumor that a grown-up X-23 is going to be in this movie as well. So
I keep saying it. Bring back Daphne King. She could do it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not so sure that this is going to be significant for Deadpool's particular arc. I don't think it's going to be very significant for all of the MCU. I don't think Marvel wants to let this movie be the one thing that kind of acts as like their flashpoint that kind of resets everything. Now they would more likely
need one.
Wars. Well, you got to remember, just creatively speaking, a lot of what's gone wrong with the MCU, you can clearly put at the feet of Bob Chapek. And now Bob Chapek is gone, and Bob Iger's back, which is one of the reasons why they pulled everything off the release calendar for this year except for this movie, and went back to page one rewrites on almost all of it. Because he was just like, I want the creatives to work this out and to give us good stories and stuff that works in this universe that we've spent the last 25, 30 films now. And 15 years building. So that's what I want is I want them to take their time. Look, I don't think the MCU is dead. I think they were struggling creatively because non-creative people had control of these stories. That's been the biggest problem because you can trace the problems with the MCU. You can trace them back to the day that Bob Chapek took over. Anything that was developed under Bob Chapek has suffered. Because he wanted to put more of it out. He wanted to make more money. He just assumed that every time they put a Marvel movie, the Marvel logo in front of a movie, it was going to make $1 billion, and it's not that easy. And Bob Iger's like, okay, Kevin Feige, you do what you did for phase 1 through 3. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Kevin Feige, I'll get the interview and I'll post it. And even Feige came out because obviously it's the MCU. That's the nickname that it's been given from fans, much like myself, who don't really like the direction that it's gone. Even Feige was quoted himself talking about pushing this female objective that they've had going. Literally every major role is now female in this movie. And of course, insert in, Kathleen Kennedy, the little lame and gay chick, whatever. Insert that here. But when you can't argue against it, Kevin Feige, I mean, I know y'all like to say in Feige we trust, but can y'all honestly say that right now?
Yes, because Kevin Feige managed to make female characters an important part of the MCU without making it obnoxious. Pepper has always been one of the most important characters in the MCU, if not to the Avengers, to Tony. Tony even says himself, I couldn't tie my shoes without Pepper. She's always been strong. Black Widow's always been a strong character. I mean, women have had their place in it before Chapek took over, and Feige knew how to write that stuff in and make it a natural part of the story. Whereas Bob Chapek's one of those people who's just like, make him a chick, make him gay. He was kind of
just let it go out to anyone who could write.
He was going along with all that nonsense, and it kind. I mean, like I said, it kind of like Miss Marvel. I thought was a really fun TV show. It worked out great then. That wasn't bad. Dude, Wanda. Wanda is one of the strongest people in this universe, if not the strongest. Nobody complains about her, and they shouldn't, because she's an awesome character. I mean, a lot of, just creatively speaking, I don't think it's as much about the diversity quota, although that doesn't help. Just creatively speaking, it's been Bob Chapek has been hamstringing this whole thing from the get-go, because he's a pencil dick, bottom line P&L reading guy. He was crunching numbers for the amusement park division when they made him in charge.
Yeah.
He did not have the intelligence of a Bob Iger who would just say, "Hey, I'll let creative people do creative shit. I'm going to handle the X's and O's in the boardroom. Creative people are going to create. I want those guys to be the ones that have read the story." That's what he does. That's what Bob Chapek didn't do. He took a lot of the creative control away from guys like Kevin Feige, and the MCU suffered for it.
But you want people who are actually, qualified to be writing shit like this, not just be like, all right, well, you fit all these check boxes, you can write this, and they have no fucking idea what they're doing.
Dick was the best villain.
Seriously, like you have like
Van Edwards. I like that one, dude. That one's good.
Well, you caught us. That's our new comic book series.
Pencil Dick erases the. I can't wait. All the taglines will be great.
Yeah, it'll be great. Yeah. So no, it's not. It got basically, you let the inmates run the asylum, and you fucking suffered for it. So, like, I mean, we'll talk. Like I said, I could say, yeah, Wanda's great, but then you want to talk about someone who is literally supposed to be a strong character, like She-Hulk, and they shit all over that. And they thought they were so fucking clever.
That was all developed under Chapek. I don't want to get too far off the trailer though, but because this is a discussion we could have for hours, and I know we're getting ready to go watch Alex and Nick do their thing.
Yeah,
but
it's a different leadership. Yeah,
but one of the things I want to point out about this trailer though, something that was very important, is a lot of people were kind of worried that once Deadpool got under the Disney banner, that they were going to kind of soften him, they were going to nerf him a bit. The very first joke that they make in the trailer is a joke about pegging
towards Disney. So, yeah.
And I was like, okay, so Disney's obviously going to let Ryan Reynolds just go with this one, and that's exactly what they should do.
You need to,
because if you tried to not make this R and make it PG, whatever, you were going to ruin all the humor. And the humor is a big ingredient to what Deadpool has been. That raunchy, kind of like Porky's or Revenge of the Nerds, the kind of humor that you can't easily get away with these days. That's the important part. That was important for me. I love seeing the TVA now that we know that he's in there, because a lot of people have said, well, how is this all going to work? Is this the same version of the TVA? Blah, blah, blah. The TVA, you got to remember, it exists outside of any timeline. So theoretically, and this is the way I see it anyway, there can only be one TVA. So this is either a reworked TVA from what we saw at the end of Loki season 2, after the stuff with Kang and all that, or the TVA has just gone on, or this is maybe an earlier form of the TVA, or maybe the TVA has rebuilt itself since the end of Loki season 2. We'll find that out. But I mean, the TVA is there now. It's connecting all this stuff together. I just love it. I loved every bit about this trailer. I don't mind them not showing much Hugh Jackman. There's two things I think about that. Number one is you don't have to, because we already know. I mean, that's been the worst kept secret in Hollywood for the last year and a half. I mean, especially ever since they came out with that Instagram post and all that stuff. Like Jeremy was talking about earlier, it's like, "Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine again?" He's like, "Sure, Ryan."
Well, I was gonna say, if anyone's been watching the last 24 hours, like him and Hugh Jackman have just been going back and forth on Twitter, just like fucking with each other. I'm like, see, I love this. Like he'll post, like Hugh Jackman took the title card of Deadpool and Wolverine. He flipped. He said, "It's called Wolverine and Asshole." You're welcome, Ryan.
I was gonna say that's the T-shirt that I want.
Right.
They would be stupid not to sell that, because I would buy that poster, that T-shirt. I would have that on my wall if they do sell that. That
like Ryan Reynolds came back with a little like friendship heart bracelets, like half Wolverine, half Deadpool together. I'm like, see, that's funny as shit. They're going at it.
Yeah, I like Van Andrews says
Brought to you by Mint Mobile. They got to have a Mint Mobile TV commercial spot somewhere in the movie. That'd be great.
Well, no, you can't because you killed Ryan Reynolds, remember? So you can't have him.
Different timeline. Different timeline.
But you know how they've handled all this stuff before. Continuity, schmontinuity. I mean, who cares?
Right.
But I'm really, really excited for Deadpool 3. I think this movie is going to be a ton of fun. I mean, I don't even need another trailer. Just don't give me another until the movie comes out.
Just give me the movie.
Yeah, I just want the movie. It's kind of like Star Wars. It's like you don't need to advertise it. Just tell me you got another Skywalker, lineage movie coming out, and I'm there. I don't even need to see a trailer. Just tell me when the movie comes out.
We're having the Ray Skywalker movies now.
Yeah, but that's still way down
Who's
the road.
excited?
Oh,
I kind of am. I kind of I like Ray. Ray.
Oh.
Look, the problem with this most recent trilogy was not Ray. The problem was the lack of creative direction they had from the very beginning.
Yeah,
Ray's a strong enough character. She's exactly the same character as Luke Skywalker. Exactly.
I would assume
only she's got boobs. That's the only difference.
I would assume nail my balls to a step stool and watch a Ray Skywalker movie. I'm good. No thank you.
You know what? If it's written well, if it's awesome, if there's good lightsaber battles,
you know who it's written by. It's not gonna be.
It's not gonna be good.
Van Edwards says he's trying to get The Rock to start his remake of The Life of Pi. Yeah,
he'll do it. He'll do it too. Whatever.
I never saw Life of Pi. It never interested me. But I'm sure there's some kind of a place in there where you can drop the dialogue. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? But there's our breakdown of the more important. There was other stuff that came out. I mean, they had like Despicable Me 4 dropped into their trailer. I don't care. I think Elementals dropped into their trailer. Oh no, Inside Out, the other Pixar movie, dropped into their trailer. Nice. I don't care really. I never. There's some other trailers that came out. There was a bunch that played that had actually gotten released in the week or two before the game. So I don't consider them, Super Bowl trailers. I mean, even the only reason I brought up the Quiet Place Day One was because it came out like a week earlier, but I knew it was one of the ones that we wanted to talk about because it's horror, and I wanted to make sure
the one trailer I wanted, I didn't get. I didn't get a trailer for Maxine, the third film in the X and Pearl series of movies. I did not get that trailer.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because if you think about it, they would have spent as much on a trailer for the Super Bowl as they spent
the movie. Oh,
yeah. So I mean,
I knew it wasn't likely, but I still wanted one. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Another thing I was surprised about, they dropped that Deadpool trailer like in the first or second ad break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was really
it was
weird.
in the first quarter. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting any of the big trailers to pop until like bookending halftime. Because a lot of people watch the halftime show, so I thought bookending halftime would be the two really big trailers. It would be Deadpool and whatever else they wanted to put up there as the big one. But when they played Deadpool like in the first or second ad break, I was like, already? Okay. Give it to me now. I don't want to wait anymore. But there wasn't any trailer that I was anticipating that I didn't get. I know there was whispers of a lot of different ones possibly coming out. Some of them I didn't understand. What was the one movie? Damn it. What was the one movie? Wicked. I think that movie doesn't come out until November or December.
Yeah, later.
I was
November.
I was actually kind of surprised that they bothered dropping. They spent this much money on it because you don't generally. I mean, almost a year out. I mean, you're talking about 9 months from now. That's a awful lot of money to spend on a trailer that most people are going to forget next week.
I already forgot about it.
Another thing I noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed this as well. The full trailers didn't play during the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they had those. They had those little teasers, and then they said trailer online,
go online
now, as opposed to playing the full trailer. All the bigger trailers, including
online.
Deadpool, did that, and I was kind of like, that's one way of saving money, I guess. I mean, you go ahead, you make the trailer, you put out, you get that 30-second spot, which costs you about
$300 billion.
I think it's somewhere between 3 and 5 for a 30-second spot. Somewhere between 3 and 5 million. I don't know exactly.
It costs a lot of money to get Taylor Swift to come to all these NFL games. They got to pay her somehow.
And so instead of paying $8 million so instead of paying $8 or $10 million for a full minute, you're only paying $3 million for 20 seconds. And then you just say, okay, now go watch it online because you guys are going to watch it online or everywhere in the Super Bowl anyway. We may as well say we're spending money.
2 or 3 million's peanuts. So to these big companies, so
Yeah, but why spend $10 million when you can spend $3 million?
That's what I'm saying. That's nothing. That's a slow Tuesday where they're from. So, yeah.
But anyway, those are our thoughts on the Super Bowl trailers, the important ones anyway. Go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys thought of the trailers. Jeremy, where can the folks at home find you, my friend?
Well, apparently on Monday as well. So if there's something important to follow up on.
We had talked about doing this last night after the game, but man, I was just so emotionally wrecked after the game last night. I just wanted to go to sleep. It was kind of late.
Frank just stopped crying right before we went live. He just dried his eyes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a very good sleep night last night. No.
No, I'm here. Yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel, or Monday. What I don't know, whatever day.
Same host time, same truth channel. Maybe that could work.
Good.
We'll workshop it.
I'll roll it around. It's been catching on. So.
And that's the end to our good friend from Texas, the shape of the Lone Star State, my man Tex. Where can the folks at home find you, sir?
Tonight you'll find me over watching Alex and the Garbage Man, probably making fun of my freedoms, and I'm the only gun-toting Texan in the crowd, so you can go enjoy that. So I'll be over there hanging out with them boys. So, and then tomorrow here and Thursday. So come back and hang out.
And don't forget, we're going to be here tomorrow talking about Leprechaun, the movie.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll be here talking about Leprechaun tomorrow. So come and hang out with us tomorrow night. Again, just a quick video going over the Super Bowl trailers from last night. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Go check out Alex the Garbage Man. We'll see you later. Adios.
See y'all later.
I mean, we could have had there's got to be a nice porn coming out, right? Something high class, maybe softcore that they could have.
If they could advertise porn in the Super Bowl, that'd be tremendous. How did Temu get 3 freaking commercials in the Super Bowl? That's what I want to know.
They're like a glorified Wish.
Well,
that blows my mind.